Anyway, hi. This is my first YouTube video ever. Wait, no, that's a lie. I had a YouTube channel in middle school. As you can imagine, it was super embarrassing.
Don't try to look it up.
Oh, it doesn't exist anymore, so you can't. But, I'm excited to start out my YouTube channel. I'm going to try to mainly use it to share my art with other people. Art is something that I'm super passionate about, and I want to be able to use this channel as a way to share it with other people. But let's get on with the video, I guess. Today, I'm going to be starting out my Create This book. If you have never heard of Create This book, basically, my favorite YouTuber, Mariah Elizabeth, published 3 different books that are filled with different drawing prompts that are made to help people use their creativity more. I'm very excited to start this off. I've actually done the first and second one, or at least I started them. I did about maybe 4 pages, but hopefully this goes better. I don't really have anything else to say, so I guess I'll just go ahead and start the video. Bye. And I'm actually getting started now. I don't think I'll be able to finish this whole book today, but I think I could at least get the cover done. I'm using my Prismacolor pencils to decorate the cover of my book. Typically these pencils are super dark and pigmented, but whenever I was coloring my book cover with them, everything came out a lot lighter than usual. I'm actually happy with this though because I like lighter colors, so it ended up working out. Some of the colors turned out a lot streakier than I wanted them to, so I used a colorless blender to make everything look smoother. Also, coloring the spine of this book was the most difficult, painful thing I have ever done in my whole life. Okay, maybe not, but it was probably in the top 5. Right now I'm working on the background, which is just my 4 favorite colors as a gradient. I'll be adding a bunch of other stuff later, but right now I'm just focused on the background. I didn't really have a plan as to how I was going to decorate my book cover. I am not the most patient person in the world, so when I make art, I usually don't plan it out. I kind of just go with it. I don't know how wise of a choice that is. Coloring the back side of the book was a little bit tedious. This is mainly because I don't love to draw huge areas with colored pencils. It takes a lot of time usually, and also it's just not the most exciting thing in the world. As I was working on this book cover, I realized just how grateful I am for colorless blenders. They make anything look so smooth and not streaky. If I didn't have one, I think this book cover would be an absolute mess. I mean, right now it doesn't look the absolute best, but we're getting there. I'm super happy with the results, and I'm excited for you guys to see it once it's done. With these kind of things, and honestly just with art in general, you really have to trust the process. There's no way to tell how it's going to turn out in the end, but you just have to keep going, and hopefully you'll like how your art turns out. This is how it looks so far. I still have a lot more to do though, so let's go ahead and get into that. I decided to use my silver Prismacolor to do all of the accent areas with. I'm really glad I used it because I liked how it turned out. It's not extremely metallic, but that's honestly fine. I don't really care that much. I lost a lot of the footage for this part. I'm still getting used to recording and filming and everything. And also keep in mind, like, none of these videos are going to be professional at all. I'm recording this with my phone and tripod, and I'm really just doing this for fun. Wait a second. Did I take my nail polish off at this part? Okay, apparently I did. I recorded this about a month ago, so some of the little things like that I've honestly forgotten about. Also, I want to point out how much I love the way that Mariah designed the Create This Book 3 cover. It's probably my favorite out of the 3 that she's done. It's really simplistic so that you could add your own details and everything, but it also just looks really nice. Now that I'm thinking about it, this is really the only Create This Book cover that I've done that I've put effort into. The other 2 I definitely rushed through. One of them turned out so badly that I had to use my sewing machine to sew a cover for it, which still didn't look that good, but it was a slight improvement. At this point, I'm just trying to neaten up my work a little bit. I still have another step to do after I finish touching things up, but right now I'm just focused on making it look all clean and finished. I'm also going to use my Posca markers to go over some of the outlines where I got areas of colored pencil over the black. I think this will help it look neater and also look like I didn't make that mistake in the first place. It looks pretty good so far, but I made a teeny whoopsie. Okay, a big whoopsie. I ended up just making another piece of paper to go over that area. Basically, that little square at the bottom of the cover is kind of just to promote Mariah's channel, so I did that. I just had to cover up the previous one. Even though it was a little bit annoying that I messed up in this area, it was a pretty easy mistake to fix. All I had to really do was just cut out a little paper rectangle and it was all good to go. And now I have colored over my entire Create This Book 3 cover. However, I still have one more step to do to be able to finish it, and this is actually my very favorite step, so I'm going to go ahead and get into that now. I'm going to be using this white piece of paper to sketch out a few little random doodles that I'm going to cut out and add to my book cover. I'm almost trying to make them look like stickers. I don't really know how to explain it that well, but I think it'll make a little more sense once you actually see what I'm doing. I think that this part of the process was the most entertaining for me. It was the least repetitive, and I was also able to draw a lot of things that I just love. The first thing that I chose to draw is a guitar. Do I own one? No. Could I play one? Technically, yes. I play the piano, and they're pretty much the same instrument. One's just a whole lot smaller. I chose to draw it though because I love vintage things, especially from the 80s, and I thought this would be a cool one to add. I don't think that my guitar is as cool as the one that Bluey has though. The next thing I chose to draw was a Game Boy. I don't own one of these either. The DS Lite is where it's at though. Funny story, my first YouTube video is actually going to be of me sewing my Game Boy backpack, but it ended up being like a lot of footage and I didn't want my first YouTube video to be extremely long. Next I drew a balloon dog. I have a borderline obsession with these beautiful, majestic creatures. I don't know how that started, but I just love them. This one I drew a lot different than my typical balloon dogs. Usually I give them clothing and eyes and stuff like that, but this time I just drew a classic balloon dog. Next I drew a paint palette. The main reason I drew this is so it can go over the one that was printed on the book cover originally. I love that one, it's just I wanted all the drawings on the cover to be in my art style. This one might be my least favorite. It took the most time, but it's also just not that interesting to me. But I still like it. I like that it represents that I like art, and I think it still looks good. It's just not my favorite out of the group. I also drew this planet. There's literally no reason why I chose to draw a planet. I'm not an astronaut, in case you're wondering. Also, spoiler alert, later on I end up messing this one up entirely. I used an eraser and got rid of all the sketches underneath the line art. This part was super satisfying. Then I took my alcohol markers and began to color all of my drawings. Wait, am I finger painting now? I don't remember doing that at all, but sadly it doesn't surprise me. This is where absolute disaster happens. I don't know what made me color that planet like that, but it looks like when you mix all of the colors of Play-Doh together and it gets super muddy. I just don't like it. I didn't want to keep it on the book cover, so I decided to make another drawing to replace it. So, what was I thinking? I didn't even sketch it out first. But anyway, in a panic, I drew a random UFO. This is such a random idea. I'm not an alien either. But I still like it. It's just, I wish I had sketched it out first. It looks a little bit wobbly. Also, the UFO actually isn't the last drawing that I'm going to do either. There's actually one more that I'm going to do a little later on. It's nothing special, but you'll get to see it later. I'm using colored pencils to shape these drawings. I started using Sharpies instead of alcohol markers. I don't remember why. I guess I couldn't find the right colors to shade with, maybe. But either way, the colored pencils still look nice. Next, I had to cut out all of the drawings. Not the most fun thing in the world, but also it was necessary. I left a border around all of them because I thought it looked nicer and it was easier. Not everything looks good with a border around it, but I thought these drawings did. Next, I am going to take off my drawings and I'm going to take some Elmer's glue and just glue them on there. Later on, I'm going to add something else to make sure that they don't fall off, but you'll see that eventually. I'm not sure whether I like the front or back cover better. I like them both a lot. I really like the way I designed to create this book, despite the fact that I didn't really plan out a whole lot. But I think it still turned out cute. I still put a lot of time into it, and I think that really paid off. And remember how I said I was going to draw something else for it? I made this tiny little shooting star to add to my book cover for the back because I thought it needed another drawing. Also, there was no way I was going to add that planet instead. So here it is. I still need to do one more thing to preserve the book cover. I added a layer of packing tape over the cover. This is mainly just to protect everything and make sure the drawings don't come off. Also, it'll help it stay clean in case I ever spill my coffee on top of it, or in case a giant terrifying creature with sharp teeth tries to chew it up. The packing tape is really just a good way to make sure it's protected so I don't lose any of my hard work. Okay, finally, here it is. I really like how it turned out. I love all the colors and the little drawings on top of it. Even though it took a really long time, I had an amazing time doing it, and I really liked how it turned out. Also, I can't wait to see you guys next time I upload a video. I'm not sure entirely when that will be, but hopefully it'll be soon enough. Bye!